Pilau Rice. If you're going to have a takeaway, you're going to need to know how to make pilau rice. Now, there's probably lots of different ways of making this. So this video is all about how I do it. So if you like my stuff and you like the way I cook, you're going to love this this video. It's basically rice cooked in a sort of an Indian stock, if you like, water which is seasoned with some herbs and spices, and we've got the herbs and spices down here for you to have a look at. So as you can see, we've got some turmeric, I've got some salt, I've got Star Anise, Cardomon seeds, some bay leaves, some cloves, and I've got some cumin seeds. Now you can use cumin, sort of ground cumin powder, but if I was you, I'd use cumin seeds, because this not only adds to the flavour of the rice, but it also adds a little bit to the texture. So the key question with most people when they're cooking rice, people always tend to cook too much, or end up throwing it all in the bin. So the key question is probably how much cooked rice per portion. It depends how much you want, obviously, but as a rough gauge, I go with about 85 grams of uncooked rice per person. So I'm going to be doing in this recipe, I'm making enough rice for 3 people, so quick bit of maths, I'm going to want 255 grams of plain rice. If that's wrong, feel free to message me. So once you've got your scale set on grams, we're going to measure out 255 grams, which is 85 grams per portion of Basmati rice. So what a lot of people tend to do now, and it's not wrong, it works perfectly well, is they will wash this rice before they cook it. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm doing this for convenience and speed, to try and get this done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cook it unwashed, and then I'll wash it later. And the reason behind the washing is you want to get all of the starch out of the rice to stop it sticking together, so you get a nice light sort of fluffy rice. But you'll get the same effect if you wash it after you've cooked. In fact, in my opinion, I think you get a better effect. But that's up to you, I'll leave that to you. If you want to wash it first, feel free. But if you want to do it my way, wash it after we've cooked it. So to cook this rice, we're going to start off by getting about 1 litre to 1.5 litres of water into a pan. Obviously, if you're cooking more rice, you're going to need a little bit more water than 1.5 litres, because you don't want the water to sort of to evaporate before the rice is cooked, because you just wind up with a gloopy sort of rice pudding otherwise. So we've got about 1.5 litres of water for 3 portions or 255 grams of uncooked rice. And with that flame under the water, leave that to come to a nice boil. And while it's coming to the boil, we'll start adding our spices into the water. Half a teaspoon of salt, throw in our cardomons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to throw in our cloves. We've got 5 or 6 cloves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cloves. We'll throw them straight into the water, and then we can just throw in Star Anise, bay leaves, and our cumin seeds. So what's going to happen with this water now is that it's going to come to a rolling boil. We're going to give it a bit of a stir with a fork, and all of those spices are going to produce a really aromatic flavour once that water is boiling, and we'll keep it on a rolling boil for about 5 minutes before we add our rice. So we'll leave him to boil, and then when it's boiling, we will add our turmeric for colour, and this gives a nice colour to the rice, so you get that yellow sort of colour. If you wanted it white rice, it's fine, you can leave this turmeric out, but I would recommend popping it in because it produces a nice sort of aesthetic look to the dish as well, and it just makes the whole thing just taste more authentic. So put your turmeric in. So once your water is boiling, okay, you're going to start to smell that aromatic flavour. You can smell it. It's so aromatic. It's unbelievable. All we've got to do now is get our uncooked basmati rice into the water, and when we get that cooked, 15 to 12 minutes straight in the pan. So once that rice is in that pan, it's really important now to get that heat back up and give it a good stir, because what you'll find is that it'll start to stick together pretty much straight away. So you want to stir it around and loosen it up a little bit, and you'll feel it. You will actually feel how it's stuck to the bottom of the pan. Once it's stirred and it's been loosened up, it's going to be fine. Bring it to a rolling boil, and then we will throw in our turmeric for colour. And as you can see, the water has got a really nice orange colour. Smells absolutely beautiful. We're going to put that on a rolling boil, so it's just sort of simmering away, and that should take 12 to 15 minutes. So, you know, and for me, when you're making a curry or any kind of Indian dish or Chinese dish for that matter, rice should be cooked ahead of time. I always cook it sometimes the day before, but certainly a few hours before. And the reason for that is I like to warm it back up in the microwave. And don't listen to anybody, chef or otherwise, that says, oh, microwaves don't have any place in the kitchen. Because you know what they do? And I use a microwave for reheating rice, for definite. I'll get it nice and dry, leave it for a couple of hours, or even, like I said, the day before, in the fridge, and then warm it up in the microwave. It takes 1 minute, and you've got perfect, hot, fluffy Indian rice. Spot on every time. Okay, so this rice has been cooking here for about 12 to 15 minutes. Time to test it. And as you can see by the colour, it's got a really nice, authentic yellow. To the tooth, or al dente. But yeah, to the tooth. That is just cooked, just off crispy, edible. We need to whip this off, get it under some cold water. To give that rice a bit of a mix, be careful it doesn't spill over into the sink. And as you can see from the water, it's really pretty murky, and that is all the starch coming out of the rice. So this is where I said we'll de-starch it later on. So now it's cooked, we're going to get loads of starch coming out of this rice. And once that water starts to run clear, we'll stir it up again, and you'll see the starch coming out again. And it's only when the water runs clear that that rice is ready to dry off. Patience and time, but that's how you get the perfect rice. So, as you can see, the rice is now running nice and clear, and it's all separate, not stuck together, absolutely beautiful. So we can turn the water off this now and leave it to dry. So we're going to tip it out, and I'm going to tip it into a colander, but you can use a sieve or anything else with some small holes in it. Get it in there, rest it on a pan, leave it to dry. Good idea, once you've got it into your colander or see if to give it a good stir with a fork, just to loosen it up, get that little bit of excess water out of it. And you know, we're going to leave this to dry for a few hours overnight. Like I said, you can leave it until the following day, and then you can just pry it in the microwave for a minute and a half, and you are going to have perfect pilau rice. Smells beautiful. So as you can see, our rice has been drying off now for probably a couple of hours, two hours or so, and it's nice and fluffy and light. But what you want to do at this point is trying to pick out the bay leaves and the star anise for certain out of the rice, and we can throw them away. You can get the cloves and the cardomons out as well if you like, but they're not quite as important. Personally, I quite like to get them all out. I mean, you want to get that little monkey out. I mean, I like aniseed, but you don't want to be chewing on that. So there you go. Once you've got all of your cloves, your cardomons, your star anise, your bay leaves, and everything you want to get out of that rice out, all you need to do is to pop that into a container, and you can keep it for a couple of days in the fridge. Rolled clove. Just take a little look how light and fluffy that is. Absolutely perfect pilau rice.